And we're live once again. Sorry for this, guys. Technical difficulties. When Jack tried to leave the podcast, he accidentally ended the broadcast since he's also on the Master Toons podcast Google Plus page. So yeah, but now I've labeled this part two, and now we're going to be wrapping up with our final thoughts on the fact that this movie, believe it or not, is not working at all. Like I said previously in a few, this thing is not only bombing critically, it is on par. And actually, it's for those of you who aren't aware of this, it is holding at a 10 to a 9 on Rotten Tomatoes, which means this movie is officially labeled worse than Batman and Robin. Look it up. Batman and
Yeesh.
Robin has an 11 on Rotten Tomatoes. This is currently at a 9, meaning it's on par with Catwoman as the worst reviewed superhero movie of all time.
Yeesh.
But
That's
that'll be one thing. Like terrible movies make money all the time. Look at Godzilla, Jurassic World, every single Transformers movie ever made. Hey, tons of other The Conjuring, tons of others. Home, shit movies make money. But that's not the case apparently because this thing is not only bombing, it is bombing hard. Like incredibly hard. In fact, on its opening day, it topped Ghost Rider's Spirit of Vengeance for the worst opening for a superhero movie in years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not a good sign. That was not a good sign for me.
No! What gave you that idea?
well, at the very least, the Fantastic Four is pretty much up for next year's Razzies
Well, that's
as
not
the
a good.
worst film ever.
Oh boy, oh boy.
So probably going to be nominated for the worst movie of the decade so far. Since this is we're in 2015, which means we're halfway through the decade, which means woo, yay, we're almost towards the infinity punctuation of death, hooray! Anyway, so this now the things are up in the air as to what this means for the franchise now. Uh, and Marvel is currently in inquiries to possibly get the rights back, possibly after this, but I'm not entirely sure, seeing how this wasn't a financial success, or maybe not. I don't fucking know, and frankly, I don't fucking care. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm trying to be funny or anything. I genuinely don't give a shit what happens to this franchise. And honestly, I'm more depressed. Like, I'm genuinely depressed for this.
Yeah,
Because Fox not only just screwed over their franchise that they now own, they not just only screwed over the fact that we could have gotten a good movie based on this franchise. They not only screwed over the fact that they're losing millions, costing hundreds of people their jobs, and the fact they probably won't even go home and feed their kids or something, or feed themselves. They possibly doomed Josh Trank's career after this. It's going to be a miracle if this guy can pick up work after this.
yeah.
To give you guys some clarity, believe it or not, originally, I'm not making this up, he was originally tasked to direct a Star Wars spin-off based on Yoda. And then
Damn.
a few months ago, he apparently was dropped off from the project.
Damn, son. That should tell you how much damage it did to the man. Fuck.
Because it's not just going to be causing damage to the franchise. This is not just causing damage to the director. This is damage to like the meaning of a film in general, and just bad business practice. Because this just shows you. This is something we learned also with Sony and what they tried to do with the Amazing Spider-Man movies. And possibly this is going to be the same with DC if Batman vs. Superman and Suicide Squad actually end up failing. And hell, maybe even with some of the Marvel movies coming up. That planned sequels and planned franchises like this don't always work. Because, like everyone says, like, well, maybe they'll work. There's always a possibility that they could work. Yeah, well, there's also a major possibility that it could blow up in your face. And this being a glaring example of that. Hell, this was a glaring example back in the 1980s.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't disagree on that. It's pretty much clear that the Fantastic Four are dead at this point. They will never touch them if Marvel gets them back.
Well, that's pretty much the only thing that it does achieve. That this movie is pretty much, if I'm not mistaken, is the very, very first superhero movie ever since the first Iron Man movie that bombed. I don't recall any other superhero movie that had this Marvel movie having this much of a failure during that period. So
Wait, Iron Man bombed?
no. Iron Man did not bomb, but in recent memory. But if you're gonna count all the movies, all the superhero themed movies, starting with Iron Man, then this is probably the very first Marvel movie that bombed. I mean, everybody thought Ant-Man's gonna be a failure at the box office because of the concept of a superhero shrinking down, but it didn't turn out that way. It turned out decent,
Yeah.
not great, but still decent. Compared to Fantastic Four, it's pretty much a total flop here. So, in a way, let's just see this as a cautionary tale to both Marvel, DC, and Sony the next time they produce their movies, because this is something that I've always dread ever since Marvel said they're going to do a cinematic universe. Is that over time there's going to be a burnout, and people will just hate it. If not for
Honestly,
if not
for
if
me
the movie is
personally,
bad, it's just that the
that has already happened to me.
genre is already bad. So Marvel has to do. So Marvel and DC are going to have to do something to keep these superhero themed movies interesting for viewers to keep going on, because they're not going to last forever. There should at least be an
Exactly.
end. Personally,
That's the thing.
it would have been nice if Marvel is going to end it with Infinity War in 2018, but no, there is going to be a Phase 4. I said, no, I'm done. I'm done with the Marvel universe after the Infinity War movie. I can't let them do another 10, 20 years of this. It has to stop at some point.
I'm with you.
If they're
I'm
going to
honestly
do it,
with you.
you have to make it interesting. But this is already an example of what's happening.
I'm honestly with you wholeheartedly. Like, okay, full disclosure, I'm fucking 17. Like, I'm not like a 30-year-old complaining about this shit. I'm 17, and I'm the target audience for these movies, and I'm fucking sick of this. To give yourself some clarity, last year we had 4 superhero movies. Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America Winter Soldier, Days of Future Past, and Amazing Spider-Man 2. What was my favorite movie? What were my top 5 favorite movies of that year? The Grand Budapest Hotel, Song of the Sea, The Box Trolls. Oh, what else was there? The Interview and The Imitation Game. Oh, and Birdman as well. Those were my favorite movies from last year. Birdman kind of counts as a superhero movie, I guess you could say, but I was not like going apeshit over it. Granted, I did go gaga over Guardians when I first saw it. I calmed down for that point. I acknowledge it's not the greatest movie ever made. I still love it to death, though. And this is honestly what's going on currently with Marvel. Like, I liked Age of Ultron a lot. I thought that was a really good movie. I liked Ant-Man. I thought that was fine. I haven't seen this, so I don't know if it's good or not. But I'm just honestly, I don't care anymore. I'm sick of like knowing what's going to happen. Because if you know that these characters are going to survive these movies because they made more sequels ahead, what's the point in caring anymore? This is the same thing with DC as well. Like, I'll be first to say, I am honestly looking forward to more to Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman than I am all of Phase 3. Because they're actually doing something that Marvel clearly aren't doing right now. They're trying to be different. They're trying to make something more unique. Like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, great movies. They're really good movies. But here's the thing. Even though they do connect, they're all in the same universe, there's no real overarching plot with all of them. There's some, but it's not a lot. From what we see of Batman vs. Superman, we know that the events of Man of Steel are going to be the main focus of that movie. From what we see of Suicide Squad, this is going to lead into more details on what's going to happen with these characters. That's more interesting than just knowing that these characters are all in the same world together. And I'm honestly looking forward more to that than anything else. And with Fantastic Four, the reason why I don't care is because they don't give me a reason to care. They aren't focusing on making a good movie. They're focusing on making another fucking franchise. Which, to me, reeks of just the studio wanting more money, when clearly they've made tons of it over this year alone.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm fucking done. I really am. I said originally to Proto I was going to go see Fantastic Four at a matinee while I'm down in Long Island. No, I'm not supporting this. I am not paying a single fucking dime for that. I'm waiting till it comes online, and I'll be the first to say it. Yeah, I pirate stuff online. You wanna know why? Because I don't want to pay money to watch shit movies. Name one person who wants to pay money to watch shit movies for a living, or pay like $7 to $8 to watch a shit movie for 2 hours, when you could just be at home with your laptop like me, sitting in bed and watching a crappy movie and making fun of it with your friends. That is worth. That is priceless.
Yeah.
And Fox, with this shitty British project and what you did to this director and what you did to his film and what you did to his vision and what Josh, for what your response to this, today I say to both of you, you're both equally in the wrong here. This movie deserves to bomb for what it is. I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll think it's okay. I don't care. I'm done with this bullshit. This needs to fucking stop, and I'm glad it finally fucking is, and it's finally coming into these people's heads that maybe, just maybe, this is a big risk, and if one of these movies actually fails, you're doomed, and you're going to cost these people, millions of people, their jobs.
Wow. Wow, you don't know how much you need, how much powerful that message was to you.
Thank you.
Let's end this now. Now before
Anyway.
it gets any more depressing.
Anyway, that has been the Master Tunes podcast with me, your host, Jared Baum. Joining me today was Ryoga316 and Proto Reeve. If you liked this podcast, give it a like in the description. If you didn't, please let us know in the comments below. And make sure to follow us on Facebook at mastertunes.com, Mastertunes on Facebook page. Or if you want to talk with all of us, join Mastertunes Assembled on Facebook. If you want to keep in contact with what I'm currently doing, I have my own personal Facebook. I have my Twitter at ArielRocks5 at 5. I also have my own my page, the NLS Critic, which I'm currently in development hell with a project I'm currently working on, and I also have my Letterboxd account with the same name of my Twitter account. Guys,
Yeah, yeah. You can find me on YouTube as Pro2445. There you will find my social media accounts. Ryoga, and he left.
damn it. You can find Ryoga on Facebook and also on his own YouTube page, Ryoga316, where he also does the Master Tunes Podcast Extended, which is basically his version of these podcasts, but just done by him with a script and stuff. It's currently going through development hell due to Viacom and or some copyright strikes, I believe, but he's hoping to get back on the ground as well. You can also find him on Facebook and the Master Tunes Assemble page. But anyway, this has been the Master Tunes Podcast. Signing out.
Yeah. Hey, see ya.
And we're
That
wow.
that